What if I told you some state quarters aren't worth 25 cents, but tens of thousands of dollars? Hidden among ordinary pocket change are rare errors collectors are desperately hunting right now. Before you spend your next quarter, you might want to look closely because it could be worth a fortune. Picture this. You're handed a quarter in change at the grocery store. You glance at it for a split second and notice a detailed design: buildings, mountains, historic architecture. It's a 2016 Harper's Ferry quarter. Just another modern coin, right? Something you might use for parking or toss into a tip jar. But what if that very quarter worth just 25 cents could actually be worth more than a brand new car? Today, we're uncovering the remarkable story of the 2016 USA Harper's Ferry quarter error coin. A modern issue that shocked collectors and turned ordinary pocket change into an auction sensation. To understand this coin, we need to step back and look at its origin. The Harper's Ferry quarter was part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series launched by the United States Mint in 2010. Following the enormous success of the 50-state quarters program, this new series honored national parks and historic sites across the country. In 2016, one of the featured locations was Harper's Ferry National Historical Park in West Virginia. This site is deeply tied to American history, known for John Brown's 1859 raid and its strategic importance during the Civil War. The reverse design of the 2016 Harper's Ferry quarter showcases the iconic John Brown's Fort, a small but powerful symbol of the nation's struggle over slavery. The design is intricate and architectural, with clean lines and precise detail meant to capture the fort's historic significance. Millions of these quarters were struck at multiple U.S. Mint facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. They entered circulation across the country, blending seamlessly with other modern quarters. Most people saw them as commemorative but common, nothing rare, nothing extraordinary. But during the high-speed minting process, where hundreds of coins are struck every minute, perfection isn't always guaranteed. At some point in production, a dramatic mint error occurred on a small number of 2016 Harper's Ferry quarters. This wasn't a minor scratch or simple post-mint damage. It was a true production anomaly, an error born inside the minting press itself. Some of these coins were struck with significant double die characteristics, showing strong and visible doubling in the inscriptions and design elements. Others exhibited dramatic off-center strikes, where the design was misaligned, leaving part of the blank planchet visible. A few extremely rare examples even showed multi-strike errors, where the coin had been struck more than once, creating a ghosted, layered appearance. One particular variety stood out above all others: a highly dramatic double die reverse combined with exceptional strike sharpness and pristine mint state condition. When collectors first began noticing unusual features on certain 2016 Harper's Ferry quarters, curiosity turned into excitement. Online forums buzzed with magnified images. Experts examined side-by-side comparisons. Professional graders authenticated the most dramatic specimens. And then came the first major auction appearance. When a certified high-grade error example crossed the auction block, anticipation filled the room. Modern coins rarely command massive prices unless they combine rarity, dramatic visual impact, and top-tier condition. This one had all three. The bidding opened modestly, but within moments it escalated. Collectors recognized that this wasn't just a small mint mistake. It was a rare error from a widely collected series, in nearly flawless condition. Auction participants competed aggressively. Phone bidders joined the action. Online offers surged. The quarter that once circulated at face value quickly climbed into the thousands. Then tens of thousands. Another example surfaced months later in a separate auction. This specimen displayed even stronger doubling and sharper detail. The surfaces were immaculate, graded near perfection. Again, competitive bidding pushed the price upward at a rapid pace. Each time one of these elite error quarters appeared at auction, the same pattern unfolded: intense demand, limited supply, and astonishing final hammer prices. What makes the 2016 Harper's Ferry error quarter so compelling is its modern origin. It's not a 19th century rarity. It's not a century-old relic. It's a coin that many people might still have tucked away in drawers or coin jars. That accessibility fuels the excitement. The possibility, however small, that one could still be discovered keeps collectors searching. Condition, as always, plays a decisive role. Circulated error examples may bring impressive amounts, but pristine, high mint state coins, especially those certified at the highest grading levels, enter an entirely different financial category. The America the Beautiful series has a large and dedicated collector base. Add a dramatic error to one of its issues, and you create a perfect storm of demand. At auction, the energy surrounding these coins is unmistakable. Bidders understand that opportunities are rare. When a top specimen appears, hesitation can mean missing out for years. Over time, confirmed auction results established a clear pattern. The stronger the error and the higher the grade, the more intense the bidding. And now we arrive at the moment everyone has been waiting for. Depending on the severity of the error, overall appeal, certification, and the intensity of auction competition, elite examples of the 2016 USA Harper's Ferry error quarter have realized astonishing prices recorded. Auction sales for top-tier specimens have ranged from $44,000 to as high as $177,000. Yes, a modern quarter. Originally worth just 25 cents. Selling at auction for up to $177,000. So the next time you receive a 2016 Harper's Ferry quarter in change, don't spend it too quickly. Look closely at the details. Examine the lettering. Study the alignment. Because hidden within that small silver-colored coin could be a remarkable minting error, one capable of transforming pocket change into a six-figure treasure. Let me tell you a story about a quarter that almost everyone has seen, but almost no one has truly looked at. In 2008, the United States Mint released a quarter honoring New Mexico as part of the wildly popular 50-state quarters program. Millions of Americans were already hooked on collecting these coins. Kids were filling maps with state quarters. Adults were checking pocket change. The excitement was real. The New Mexico quarter celebrated the state's admission to the Union in 1912. This design was striking and symbolic. The reverse featured the outline of the state with a Zia sun symbol in the center, a sacred emblem representing the four directions, 4 seasons, 4 times of day, and 4 stages of life. Around it appeared the inscriptions, Land of Enchantment and 1912. Marking statehood. It was artistic, it was meaningful, and it was everywhere. Billions of state quarters had been produced by that point, and in 2008, the Philadelphia and Denver mints struck millions of New Mexico quarters for circulation. They flowed into banks, cash registers, vending machines, and coin jars across the country. To most people, it was just another quarter. But behind the scenes, inside the steel presses that strike coins with thousands of pounds of pressure, something went wrong. And that's where the story changes. During the die preparation and striking process, a small number of 2008 New Mexico quarters were produced with dramatic mint errors. Some displayed significant double die features in the inscriptions and design elements. Others showed striking abnormalities like off-center impressions, die cracks cutting across the Zia symbol, or severe die breaks that distorted the state's outline. But one particular error variety stood above the rest. A small batch of quarters exhibited a powerful double die reverse affecting the date 1912, the lettering and portions of the Zia symbol. Under magnification, the doubling was strong and unmistakable. This wasn't minor machine chatter. It was a true hub doubling error created during die manufacturing. When the coins first entered circulation, no alarms sounded. No one at the grocery store noticed. No cashier paused. They blended into everyday life. It wasn't until collectors began closely examining 2008 quarters that something unusual came to light. Images surfaced online. Side-by-side comparisons were posted in coin forums. Experts examined the coins under magnification and confirmed it. This was a legitimate double die error. And not just any error. This was a dramatic, visible, collectible variety from one of the most popular coin programs in modern U.S. history. Interest spread quickly. The state quarters program had already built a massive collector base. That meant millions of people were familiar with the designs, and many were still searching through rolls of quarters. When the first certified high-grade example of this New Mexico error coin appeared at auction, anticipation was intense. Collectors understood something important. Modern error coins in top condition are far rarer than most people think. While thousands of standard quarters are saved in mint state, only a tiny fraction of dramatic errors survive without damage. The coin crossed the auction block. Bidding began steadily, then accelerated. The doubling on 1912 was crisp. The Zia symbol showed clear separation. The surfaces were clean and bright, graded in high mint state condition. As the auction progressed, phone bidders joined in. Online participants pushed aggressively. Each new bid raised eyebrows in the room. The final hammer price shocked many observers. Months later, another example appeared at auction, this one even more spectacular. The doubling was sharper. The strike was bold. The eye appeal was exceptional. Again, competitive bidding drove the price higher and higher. What makes this coin so compelling isn't just the error, it's the combination of factors. It's part of a beloved national series. It honors a historically rich state. It carries symbolic artwork, and it contains a genuine minting anomaly created during production. Add scarcity and high grade to that equation, and you have the perfect recipe for explosive auction results. Over time, additional specimens surfaced, but always in very limited numbers. Each appearance at auction reignited excitement. Price guides adjusted. Demand strengthened. And because this coin is modern, the possibility, however slim, still exists that undiscovered examples remain in circulation or hidden in collections. That possibility fuels the hunt. The difference in value between average condition and elite condition is enormous. Circulated examples with visible doubling can command impressive sums. But pristine, high-grade specimens, those with blazing luster and sharp detail, enter an entirely different financial realm when auction competition intensifies. In the most competitive auction environments, where two or more determined collectors refuse to back down, prices can escalate far beyond expectations. And that brings us to the numbers everyone wants to hear. Depending on condition, clarity of the error, grading certification, and the intensity of auction bidding, confirmed sales of the 2008 New Mexico 1912 state quarter error coin have ranged from $39,000 to as high as $278,000. Let that sink in. A quarter. 25 cents. Minted in 2008. Selling at auction for up to $278,000. That's the power of rarity. That's the impact of a genuine mint error. And that's why collectors continue searching through their change, roll after roll, coin after coin. Because sometimes, the most extraordinary treasures aren't ancient relics. What if I told you that one of the most iconic state quarters ever released, the Texas 1845 quarter from 2004, has a hidden secret? Not just history, not just symbolism, but a minting mistake so rare that when it appears at auction, seasoned collectors lean forward in their seats. Let's go back to 2004. The 50 state quarters program was at full momentum. Launched in 1999, it had already become one of the most successful coin programs in United States history. Millions of Americans were actively collecting. Families were searching through pocket change. Coin albums were flying off store shelves. Then came Texas. The 2004 Texas state quarter celebrated the Lone Star State's admission to the Union in 1845. The design was bold and unmistakable. The reverse featured the outline of Texas with a large Lone Star superimposed over it. To the right, a rope encircled the design, symbolizing the state's cattle and ranching heritage. The inscriptions Texas and 1845 stood proudly within the border. It was clean, strong, instantly recognizable. The U.S. Mint struck millions upon millions of Texas quarters at the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. They were released into circulation across the country. For most Americans, it was just another quarter, another piece in the state collection map. But inside the minting presses, operating at extraordinary speed and pressure, something went wrong. Coin production is a precise process. Blank metal discs, called planchets, are fed into striking chambers where hardened steel dies stamp the design onto both sides simultaneously. The force is immense. The repetition is constant. And while quality control is strict, perfection isn't guaranteed. During the production of a limited number of 2004 Texas quarters, certain dies developed striking anomalies. One of the most dramatic and valuable errors involved significant double die characteristics on the reverse design. In these rare examples, the inscriptions, particularly Texas and 1845, show strong, visible doubling. The Lone Star itself can display separation lines. Under magnification, the outlines appear duplicated, almost vibrating off the surface. This wasn't simple machine doubling caused by loose equipment. It was a true double die error created during die hubbing, when the design is first impressed into the die. That means every coin struck from that defective die carried the same distinct doubling. When the quarters were released into circulation, no alarms were raised. They entered commerce normally. They paid for fuel, groceries, toll booths. But collectors were watching. The state quarters program had created a nationwide army of coin checkers. People examined their change carefully. And eventually, someone noticed something unusual. Under magnification, the lettering didn't look right. Images circulated among collectors. Comparisons were made between normal examples and the suspected error. Experts weighed in. Authentication followed. The verdict: a legitimate double die error on the 2004 Texas quarter. And that's when things escalated. Modern error coins can be extraordinarily valuable, but only under certain conditions. The error must be genuine. It must be visually significant, and high-grade examples must be scarce. The Texas error quarter checked every box. When the first certified high-grade specimen appeared at auction, interest was immediate. This wasn't just a small imperfection. The doubling was bold. The surfaces were clean. The strike was sharp. Bidding opened at a level already far above face value. Within moments, it climbed. Collectors specializing in state quarters recognized the rarity. Error coin specialists saw the opportunity. Investors saw potential growth. The auction atmosphere intensified as bids moved higher and higher. When the hammer finally fell, the final price stunned many observers. Months later, another example surfaced at auction. This one graded even higher, with exceptional luster and nearly flawless surfaces. The doubling was pronounced and dramatic. Again, bidding was fierce. Phone lines lit up. Online bidders jumped in aggressively. Floor participants refused to back down. The final result exceeded expectations. Each time one of these elite Texas error quarters appears at auction, the story repeats itself. Limited supply, strong collector demand, escalating competition. What makes this coin especially compelling is its combination of modern accessibility and serious rarity. Billions of state quarters were struck, but only a tiny fraction carry this dramatic double die feature, and even fewer survive in top-tier mint state condition. Condition is everything. Circulated examples with visible doubling may sell for impressive sums. Uncirculated coins bring significantly more. But pristine, certified examples with exceptional eye appeal, those are the ones that ignite bidding wars at auction. Over time, auction records established a remarkable value range. Depending on grade, doubling strength, certification, and the intensity of auction competition, confirmed sales of the 2004 Texas 1845 state quarter error coin have ranged from $31,700 to as high as $210,000. Yes, a 25-cent coin. Minted in 2004, selling at auction for up to $210,000. That's the power of a true mint error combined with collector passion. So the next time you come across a 2004 Texas quarter, don't just admire the Lone Star. Look closely at the lettering. Examine the date, because hidden within that familiar design could be a rare production mistake, one capable of transforming a simple quarter into a six-figure auction sensation.